Hey, what is going on, Fan Clan? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Phantom. Hope you guys are all doing well. Happy Wednesday. It is currently September 15th. Why that is significant is because tomorrow is September 16th, which is my birthday. But I know you guys didn't come here to listen to me talk about my birthday. You came here to listen to me ramble about Pokemon, which is really, really nice of you, and I really appreciate. I don't know why, but thank you very, very much. We're going to take a break from celebrations. We're going to take a break from the current celebrations market and kind of why I'm concerned about the market moving forward. And we're going to go back to Evolving Skies and talk about the singles market for Evolving Skies. And this is something that I like to do a few weeks after a set releases to kind of get an idea where single prices are now compared to where they were when it came to the pre-order process for singles of a set. So we did this for Chilling Reign, we did it for Vivid Voltage, we did this for Shining Fates, Hidden Fates, Battle Styles, and just kind of got an idea of where singles were for a pre-order price to where things are now that the set has been released for a few weeks. And we are, almost at 4 weeks of Evolving Skies being released, and singles are surprisingly still selling at a decent rate. Rayquaza Vmax, for example, I was very, very shocked when that pre-order price came out of selling for about $500, $550 or so. A few days after the set released, that price went way down to about $250. It was a crazy, crazy drop, and I expected everything to drop. I expected a ton of product to be opened. We sold a ton of Evolving Skies booster boxes. We had a ton of people who did the bulk trade for Evolving Skies booster boxes. I know allocations were up for a lot of people for Evolving Skies booster boxes, so I saw a lot of product kind of leaving, and you can see that now when you look at the price, the market price for Evolving Skies booster boxes is right around that $170 mark, which is, $30 above MSRP. So a lot of product was getting open. So I thought there's no way that this price is going to hold. It's going to tank, especially when you saw a couple days after release, this set or this price is already down to about $250. But when I looked, it was actually it's still around there. Like it's holding strong. So I do want to go over the singles and things like that. But before we jump into things, I do want to kind of start out by just emphasizing one thing that I haven't touched on too much. But when I talk about FOMO and when I talk about the market, when I talk about market pricing and things like that, a lot of times specifically, I'm addressing products that are going to be released solely at like an LGS or an online store, not something that you're going to be able to go in and find at Walmart or at Target. And I know there's a lot of concern about celebrations, and I understand that, understandably so. There's going to be a lot of people who go out, buy up all the celebrations product that they possibly can find in the stores and then sell it. When I'm talking about being patient and you see Evolving Skies booster boxes selling at about $170, I know you can't get Evolving Skies booster boxes at Target or at Walmart, but we do know that a Wave 2 is coming for Evolving Skies. Now, it's supposed to be coming at the end of September. I followed up with my distributor yesterday. He said it is still scheduled to come out at that time. However, we both are kind of in the same camp when we think, okay, well, Battle Styles Wave 3 is delayed until the end of October. Chilling Reign Wave 2 is delayed until the end of October. It makes perfect sense for them to delay Evolving Skies until like November, because they're not going to want Wave 2 of Evolving Skies to come out before Wave 2 of Chilling Reign, right? And that has me a little concerned about product moving forward, but we'll talk about that in a later video at the end of this week. But when I'm talking about that, when I'm talking about that FOMO and being patient and things like that, I'm speaking specifically about these products that we know are going to get reprinted that, you'll find at a local game store or a local hobby store or online. I know a lot of people are having success right now, which is awesome, with finding sleeve booster packs, elite trainer boxes, 3-pack blisters, and things like that at their local retail store. And I think that's awesome. I think Pokemon has done a really, really good job of making sure that they feed not only themselves, but feed all these marketing companies that stock these retail stores. So that way, even if you're getting limited, a lot of times you can go into a retail store and you can see product on the shelves. And I know that's not the case for everybody, but I have seen a lot of positive people and a lot of positive thoughts when it comes to Pokemon kind of out in the market when it comes to their local retail store, which I think is really cool. So when I'm talking about FOMO and I'm talking about being patient, I'm talking about specifically about these products that are going to be, on an LGS, and that maybe a sealed collector wants, or maybe you held off on Evolving Skies and you're waiting for this Wave 2 to be released. I'm just saying it could be a little bit of time, so try not to worry too much about this price that's continuing to rise. Don't buy into the FOMO or anything like that. If you really want to crack packs and open packs, you might be able to find some at your local retail store. With that being said, we're going to kind of jump into things right away here. So here it is. So if you remember, if you watched the video that I made when it came to Evolving Skies pre-order pricing, I only took the cards that were selling pre-order price for over $100. And usually I go a little bit deeper, but I was just so flabbergasted. Flabbergasted? I was so surprised, so shocked at the amount of cards that were selling for over $100. And I know that this is a very, very exciting set. And I know that this is a huge fanboy set. There's a lot of staples, a lot of mascots, a lot of really exciting cards when it comes to the alternate arts. But I just kept hitting myself in the head when I was looking at some of these pre-order prices, and I was like, Rayquaza VMAX, $550. Umbreon Vmax, the alternate art, is selling for $450. There's no way that these prices hold. And they didn't hold, and you wouldn't expect them to. But the drops that they've had is much, much less than what I thought it was going to be. I was expecting that I was going to look at these with all the product getting open and all the product being distributed and all the product being ripped. I was expecting to see 80% drops. Now, I didn't consider the fact that there's so many cards in this set and just a huge, massive amount that's probably going to keep the single prices relatively high. I thought that maybe that would be offset by the amount of product that was getting opened, but I did not expect 3 weeks after the set to come out that these prices would remain as solid as they have. And we haven't seen a whole lot of movement over the last 3 weeks in a lot of these areas. A lot of the drops that we're talking about kind of happened overnight. They happened, the set came out a few days later, a lot of these cards dropped, and they've been holding steady for a few weeks since then. So we're going to start out here and just kind of look at things. When I'm going over the pre-order price, TCG Player did not have pre-order pricing available for a lot of their singles when we recorded the original video. So we picked all of the pre-order pricing singles from Troll and Toad. So to keep things consistent, which I think is very, very important, we look at the pre-order price here in this column B for Troll and Toad, and then we look at the current price from Troll and Toad. But then I also looked at the current lowest near mint price on TCG Player, so I could do the differences, the percentage differences for both categories here. So when we're talking about Umbreon Vmax or Rayquaza Vmax, which we already touched on a little bit, the pre-order price for this card was $550. Currently, and a lot of these cards right now, a lot of these singles right now are sold out on Troll and Toad, which is crazy to me. $380, which is about a 31% drop. Now on TCG Player, you can find a near mint copy for $250, which is about a 54.5% drop. Most of these percentages are pretty steady with what we see before. You're going to see typically anywhere between 60 and 70% of a dip a few weeks after release. I expected more because these prices were so crazy high at the beginning, but we're going to go over the rest of them here. Umbreon Vmax, this is the alternate art, $450 for a pre-order price. $289.99 is the current price. TCG Player, the current price is $219. This one is very surprising to me because this is my favorite card in the set, so I have paid a lot of attention to this card. When this card originally came out, when the set released on August 26th or whatever it was, a few days after the set released, this card was selling for about $180. You could go on, you could buy up a lot of copies for $180. You could find them on TCG Player for $185, $190 for a few days. But after that, a lot of hype continued to grow beyond this card, just this card right by itself. And now all of a sudden it's back up to $219 3 weeks after the set released, 4 weeks after the set released, whatever it is. So 35.5% drop on Troll and Toad, 51% drop on TCG Player. However, that 51% drop, that's a little bit of kind of an anomaly because it dropped 51%, like I said, pretty much overnight. And a little bit more than 51%, but now it's actually steadily increased a little bit over the past few weeks. Now, I do expect a lot of these products to continue to drop as more product comes out and gets opened, but unfortunately, we may wait a little while for these prices to drop because booster boxes aren't coming out until Wave 2 comes. So if you see sleeve boosters in stores or things like that, as more product gets open, these prices will continue to come down, but it's just crazy to me. I also think celebrations will probably help a little bit. A lot of people will start getting focused on celebrations. They'll want to sell some of their singles so that way they can get celebrations money, but very, very interesting right there. Sylveon Vmax was the third most expensive card. It was pre-ordering for $400. Currently on Troll and Toad, it's $150, $149.99, which is a 62.5% drop. You can find it on TCG Player at $111, 72% drop. I believe this is another card that actually went up a little bit in price. About 72.25%, which is a typical dive a few weeks after release. Rayquaza V, this is the alternate art, was pre-ordering for about $300. The current price on Troll and Toad is $165, which is a 45% drop. TCG Player, you can find it for $93. $50. And this has dropped a little bit over the last week. When I was looking at this card last week, it was closer to $105, $110. So a 68.83% drop. Rayquaza V has actually kind of followed the trend where it seems to be slowly, kind of gradually falling back down to earth. Leafeon V, the alternate art, $200 for the pre-order price on Troll and Toad, $95 is the current price, $61 is the TCG Player price. So a 52.5% drop on Troll and Toad, and then about a 70% drop on TCG Player, which is, like I said, typically expected. Sylveon V, this is a big drop right here. So it's a very, very cool alternate art. Interesting because it doesn't have that alternate art VMAX. This is one of the cards that was cut. We expect to see that VMAX later on and in some kind of promo box or something like that. It's still selling for $115 on Troll and Toad, which is only about a 42.5% drop, but you can find it for $52.75 on TCG Player, which is a 73.63% drop. That's not the biggest drop we've seen, but it is a decent sized drop. Next up is the alternate art Umbreon V, which is pre-ordering for $200. Currently, you can buy it for $150 on Troll and Toad, or TCG Player has it for about $71. 25% drop on Troll and Toad, but a much bigger drop on TCG Player, dropping a little over 64%. Leafeon Vmax, the alternate art, which is a really cool card. I like this one a lot, where he's kind of rolling the hay bales. $200 pre-order price on Troll and Toad, $119.99. It seems like a lot of the cards I think that Troll and Toad has that are out of stock, they just kind of didn't update the price, which makes total sense because why are you going to do extra work if you don't have the card in stock? 40% drop on Troll and Toad, and this is the reason why I wanted to include it on TCG Player, because I thought it would give us a more accurate understanding of the market. $89.50 on TCG Player, which is a 55% drop. Then you've got the Leafeon Vmax, which I do like a lot. $200 down to $120 on Troll and Toad, only $96.20 on TCG Player, still very expensive. 51.9% of a dip. The Umbreon Vmax Rainbow Rare, this has a very significant drop. $175 pre-order price on Troll and Toad. Even on Troll and Toad, it dropped 70% down to $52. And it's $42 about on TCG Player, which is a 76% drop. That's our second biggest dip out of all of these cards. Duraladon Vmax, and this is the one that I remember recording the video and being like the first video, original video, and being like, why is this card selling for so much? And I understand that it's an alternate art, but this is a really crazy price. $175 was the pre-order pricing on it. $50 is the current price, so that's a huge drop, 71.4%. But if you look at TCG Player, you can buy that alternate art. This is the cheapest by far of the ones that we're talking about here, $39.60, which is a 77.37% drop. Crazy. Dragonite V has actually been somewhat surprising. This is one of the few cards that you can buy on Troll and Toad for significantly cheaper. This is one of those cards that really dipped a lot at the beginning, but then climbed a lot over the next couple weeks. This one, and I didn't talk about Noivern, but the Noivern V alternate art, which we talked about on the last video, that card in specific saw a huge drop right out of the gates, and it has been climbing like crazy. That card was down to like $25 for the alternate art, and now it's right around $50. Really growing quite a bit in popularity, but that, I think a lot of that is just because a lot of people like that artwork. The Dragonite V pre-order price was $150. Troll and Toad has it for $49.99 compared to the $73.99 that you can buy it on TCG Player for. So a 66.67% drop on Troll and Toad, and then about a 51% drop on TCG Player, which is crazy. Rayquaza VMAX, the Rainbow Rare, $150 for pre-order pricing, $89.99 on Troll and Toad, 40% drop, or you have a $52.10 purchase price on TCG Player, which is good for about a 65% drop. Then you have the alternate art for Sylveon V, which is selling for $125 as the pre-order price. Now it's down to $81.99, which is a 34% drop, a little over 34%, but it's only $57.97 on TCG Player, which is about a 53.6% drop. So a little bit below average. Typically, like I said, it's going to be right around 60 to 70% is the dip that you're going to see a few weeks after release. And then finally, we covered Leafeon V, the alternate art, another really cool looking card. $120 for the pre-order pricing. These alternate arts, people just love these alternate arts. It's crazy to me, some of these prices that are still here 3 weeks after the set comes out. $80 is the current price on Troll and Toad, which is only a 33% drop. And then you have TCG Player, $61.27, which is less than a 50% drop, 48.94%. 4% of a drop. So still very, very expensive when you're talking about all of these cards right here. So just the top 15 cards from TCG Player, you're looking at $1,371 if you just want to buy a one of each of these cards. There's master sets. I remember selling master sets or buying master sets or looking at master sets of Steam Siege, of Generations, of all these cards in the XY block, and even of the Sun and Moon block, and seeing master sets selling for, you know, $200, $300. Ancient Origins, I think at one time I could buy for like $180 an entire master set. You're talking about just 15 cards from this massive set. The top 15 cards selling for over $1,300, almost $1,400 if you want one near mint copy of each. That's assuming you buy them all on TCG Player and pay tax and shipping and whatever the case might be. So very, very interesting stuff. Guys, that's all that I'm going to cover today because I am sure you are tired of listening to me speak. Thank you so much for giving me your attention. Please leave a like down below. Leave a comment because it does go a really long way for the algorithm, and I love reading them. But most importantly, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below because it really means a lot to me. And tomorrow's my birthday, so why not subscribe for a birthday gift, right? Yeah, of course. All right, guys, until next time, peace.